Hello, first graders. Here's our first math lesson to you. So we're doing 12.4. So when you look at your practice book, that is our lesson is 12 and we're in the fourth lesson of it. We did the first three lessons back when we were in school and they all revolved around the hundredths chart. So it's going to be kind of familiar with you. We're just going to finish out this chapter. So the hundredths chart is just one of your tools that you can use for adding. We've learned that you can use a number line, the tens frame. Some of us are fluent and we've learned it. We've used the pen and paper. We've used different manipulatives. Now we're just teaching you how to use the hundred chart. So I'm going to start off with some easy ones that you already know so that you can see how to do it. And then we'll get to some more difficult ones. Remember back when we were in school that we learned that if you go to the right, you're going to be adding. And you're adding by one and then another. If you go to the left, you're taking it away. Look at 14, 13, 12, 11. But we also learned whether you go up or you go down means something. Let's see if you remember that. If I'm at 36 and I bounce to a row above going up, what's happening to my number? It's getting lower. So when we go up, it means we are taking it away. We're minusing that number. If we're here and we go down rows, we're adding by 10. All right, so kind of getting that straight. So let me start with an easy one. If I asked you 6 plus 6, I know you guys would all be shouting out right now 12. Well, I'm going to show you how you would do it on your number line. You've got 6, and it says we need to add 6 more. Not 6 tens, it didn't say 60, 6 more. So we're at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our answer, which you all knew, 6 plus 6 is 12. Instead, I found it using the hundredths chart. So let me do another one. 2 plus 8. Again, I know you're all shouting the answer out right now. 10. I'm going to show you with the hundredths chart. We could start with 2 and add 8 more. But remember, we're trying to do things in a fast manner. So instead of starting with 2, just like we do when we put the bigger numbers in our head, you do the same on your hundredths chart. So again, I'm going to start with 8, and now I only have to add 2 more to get my answer 10. So those were easy ones. You guys already knew. I just wanted to show you how to manipulate the hundredths chart. So now our first problem, let me get my marker on whiteboard. So the first one that we're going to look up, and you can use the hundredths chart in your practice book. There's one in there, or if mom and dad are able to find one on the computer for you, however, but I do know there's some in there. So our first problem is 62 plus 30. I would like you guys to pause right now because I want you to figure it out using the chart, and then I want you to be able to have the right answer. So it's a good time to pause the machine, figure that out, 62 plus 30, and in a minute I'm going to show you and see if your answer was correct. All right. Hopefully you've unpaused and ready for checking your answer. So 62 plus 30. We said that when we're doing the hundredths chart, we use it the same way that we do when we put the bigger number in our head. So 62 or 30, 62 is my bigger number. So I'm going to put this at 62. And now I need to add 30. Okay, I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is going to take way too long. So hopefully you remembered that we can also bump down to get to our 30. if we bump down 1, that's adding a 10. But it didn't say add 10, it said add 30. If we bump down again, that's 20. If we bump down once more, that would be bumping down 3 times to give us our 30. So your answer should have been 92. How'd you do? Alrighty, now let's do another one. All right, let's do 40 plus 28. Here's the problem, 40 plus 28. Again, pause it. I want you to figure it out, and then in a minute, you'll see if you're correct or not. All right, 40 plus 28. I know I've got to find my bigger number, which is 40. And, plus 28. So for this one, I might not want to start with 28 or 40. I might want to start with 28 because I can bump down 4 times better than I could do 28. But I'll show you both ways. So if I start with 40 and I have to go down 20, 10, 20, but then I still needed to take care of that 8. So now I could just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, getting an answer of 68. To me, that was too many steps, but remember we learned in math that there's lots of ways to get the answer. Let me show you the way where if I start with 28. This is the one that has less steps that I connect better with. So I have 28, but I have to add 40. So wait a minute, am I going to go up 4? No, that's subtracting. Am I going to go down 4? Yup. And why am I going down 4? That's right, because each one is a 10. 10, 20, 30, 40. And what was our answer? 68. Do you remember both ways got me the correct answer? You have to find what works best for you. All righty, here we go. Let's try 5 plus 24. There's our question. 5 plus 24. Go ahead and pause it. Figure it out. And let's see if you are correct. So, a couple ways I can do this. Remember, there's always more than one way to get an answer. 5 plus 24. For this one, I think I'm going to start with the bigger number because I don't want to have to count 24 and make a mistake with my counting. So, I'm going to start with 24. And it says I need to add 5. So I know if I go this way, my number's getting bigger. Oh, this must be adding. If I go this way, my number is getting smaller, and my problem did not say minus. 24 plus 5. So here's 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got my answer right there. 29. Did you get 29? I hope so. How are we doing with the hundreds chart? Again, 5 plus 24, we can do that in our head too. Remember, starting with 24, add 5 more, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. But today our math series is trying to teach us how to use a hundreds chart. All right, now we have, remember in our math series, open-ended questions. And I love open-ended questions the most because that's where you can come up with lots of different answers, correct answers. So, our open-ended says, Mrs. Seitchen adds tens to a number to get a sum of 57. Ooh, so we got a terminology here. We know that sum is the answer to an addition problem. So that's our whole. Our whole is going to be 57. But it says that Mrs. Seitchen added tens to a number. So I've got to have some tens and I've got to have numbers. So I'm at 57, or that's what I want for my total answer. So what problems could I come up with? Again, pause. See how many equations you can come up with, something plus something else that equals 57, and be sure to use some tens, and we'll go over what some of those possibilities could be. All right. Did you get some? Let's see if some of the ones you came up with are some of the ones I have. So we're going to do our equation. We want it to equal 57. So it's going to be something plus something because we said it's a sum. So we know it's an addition problem. So if our end goal is to be here at 57, I could do 47 plus what? Gives me 57. I could do 47 plus 10. That equals 57. What if I bumped up 2 and I start with 37? 37, how many would I need? 20 plus 20 equals 57. Alrighty, let's see what else. What if I started with 17? So here's 17, and I want to get to 57, so I would have to add 10, 20, 30, 40, wouldn't I? So 17 plus 40 equals 57. Remember, these open-ended questions are great ways to come up with multiple ways to get that sum of 57. So even though I only have 3, there are way, way more. So if you came up with some different ones, have mom and dad check your math to see if they in fact add up to 57. So boys and girls, that's our lesson today on how to use a hundredths chart. Now your assignment is in the workbook that we sent home. It's the homework book. You would go to page 137. So I'm going to write it on here. So it's our practice book, page 137. It's actually page 137 and 138 because it's the two-sided front and back, okay? And you guys are going to do this for homework, and you're going to have mom and dad take a picture of each side and email it back to me so that I can correct your answers and see how you did with it. Now, moms and dads, you can absolutely help them read any of the questions, but please let them try to figure out the math on their own, just so that I know how we're doing on it, whether it's something that we're, getting or something maybe we need a little reteach. So again, help them surely with any of the words they can't read, but let's make sure the math is coming from them. So it is page 137 and 138 in the workbook. And then again, moms and dads, snap a quick little picture of it, email it back to me, and we'll see how they're doing on their first homework assignment for math, page 137 and 138. You will also know that our workbook pages might have a couple pages before this. That's because we did the units in class, but because of the PARP reading, we didn't do homework, remember, this month. So those were extras. They can certainly do those. Those would be a good practice for still working with the hundredths chart. So I believe if you are looking for additional work to help them, it does not need to come back to me. But if you are looking for additional pages for your child to practice, feel free. Let's see which ones they are. If we go back to chapter 12.1, again, we did this back in school. So that would be be page 133 in their book and 134. Go ahead and have them try it. See how they're doing on it. And they could also do, let's see. They could also do 135 and 136. This is where they not only add with the tens frame, but they're also asked to subtract. But again, the lesson that needs to be completed is page 137 and 138. Take a picture of it, email it back to me so I can give your child credit for doing their math assignment. And I would say by Monday. So, I mean, I know this is difficult in that we're, everybody's trying to work from home and things like that. So let's give that a try, and good luck. See ya.